All right. So I see that people have been busy, so that's good, I guess. Sometimes, in these interesting times that we are in, if we can stay busy, that's fantastic. Could be something to pass the time. Anyone else? How the past couple weeks have gone for you? As we had transitioned back to hybrid model, and it looks like when we come back from spring break, we'll continue to transition into a different model. We'll have a staff meeting today to kind of go through that process of what that transition may look like. So, all right. So what I'll do for today is I will start with our advisory lesson. Ms. Diamond has been sending out lots of emails to us. If mainly to senior teachers, if you haven't filled out information related to your cap and gown, it's important that you do that, as well as making sure, and mainly more from the counseling department, making sure that as we are going to be entering trimesters 3.1 and 3.2, that you just do a little quick credit check, or even just check in with your counselor and see that everything is going well for you. Okay. So for today, our lesson is going to be about wellness. It is the second lesson. So we are building on what we have done the past time with wellness. And so let me just dig right into it. Well, actually, before we dig into it, today is an advisory. Next Friday, so the last day of the trimester, is an advisory day. And then you can see also March 26th is April 9th and 16th. And then in May, we have 4 advisory lessons as well. So just something to think about as we are progressing in the future. All right, so mental health, wellness will be our focus for today. And there has been a lot discussion about mental health wellness, in the past year. And a lot of it is related to the pandemic. And so we're going to take a moment here to look at mental wellness. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to identify where mental health continuum, or where I will be able to identify where on the mental health continuum I am at this moment. And I identify ways to promote mental well-being, and I can identify who my trusted supports are. So mental health has gone through one could say, evolution in its definition. And so what we have here for defining mental health is a state of successful performance of mental function, resulting in productive activities, fulfilling relationships with people, and the ability to change and cope with adversity. And so that's a definition that was arrived in 1999, and the Surgeon General had released that definition. And to build on that, the capacity to successfully adapt to life's circumstances, it does not mean happiness, nor does it mean not having negative feelings, worries, or difficulties. It includes the experience of stress and the use of that experience to help you solve the many and frequent challenges of life. People develop that capacity in the context of human relationships and usual developmental process. Okay, so that's our working definition here of mental health. Now, the continuum, as we looked at, or one of the kind of guiding principles here of this lesson for today, is look at the mental health continuum and take a look at it yourself as well. And you can see that it varies. Our mental health can fluctuate and vary based on internal and external factors. And some of those internal factors can be personality, genetics, and some of the external factors are the situations, the stressors, what's going on with life in general. And so some in the medical community and the support, the wellness support community are definitely looking at those external factors in this past year on how it influences our mental health. We may move back and forth and continue throughout our lives. It's very normal, and that it can even happen in a very short period of time as well. You know, that green area, the thriving, you know, that's our hope, and that's our goal, is to get to that thriving level, you know, calm and steady with minor mood fluctuations, able to take things in stride, consistent performance, also to take feedback and adjust to changes, able to focus, able to communicate effectively, and normal sleep patterns and appetite. You know, that's our goal here, is try to get to that thriving point. And so I think, you know, when you look at that, and you don't need to put it in the chat, but just make a note of it in yourself as you look at these criteria. You know, where do you fit right now on it? You know, I would like to believe that I'm a lot in the green area, but you know, I would say in the past couple of weeks, you know, the calm and steady with minor mood fluctuations, I think, you know, that has changed a little bit, and so can definitely work on that area. At least, you know, perhaps my wife and daughter will tell me, you know, calm down a little bit here, Dad. You know, all that. So where are you on the continuum is okay. All right. So our goal might be in the green area, but it is okay where you are at, and know that it's going to change. There are many strategies that can help you establish and keep good mental health, and these include staying physically active, helping other people, getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, asking for professional help with your mental health if needed, and socializing with people whom you enjoy spending time with. And I know in this time it can be very difficult to do that, but socializing with people who you enjoy spending time with is a positive thing, is a good thing. And forming and using effective coping skills to deal with your problems. All right. So hopefully you have been doing some of this to help you get good mental health. All right. So what is a stigma? You know, we hear that often, you know, this idea of a stigma. And so if we look at mental health stigma, stigma is where someone or yourself views you in a negative way because you have a mental health condition. And some people describe stigma as shame that can be felt as judgment from someone else, or feeling that is internal, something that is confusing, feeling bad with being bad. And I think what we have been trying to emphasize, that it is okay that we do have mental health, and that acknowledge it, and try to find ways to work on having a better mental health. All right. And so the stigma, that idea is constantly being addressed in trying to find ways to destigmatize it. Okay. And so ways to fight stigma is to be conscious of language, you know, what's coming out, share your story, educate yourself and others, and practice empathy. Those are 4 excellent ways to fight stigma. All right, so in the chat, or if you want to unmute, what is one way you can support your own mental well-being? getting enough sleep. Absolutely. Trying to get in a good and healthy routine. Absolutely. I think for myself, it's just a matter of, people are just constantly saying, that I'm in a state of movement, that I'm always doing things. And I don't know if that's always a healthy thing. And so what I have been trying to practice is just simply stopping what I'm doing and I do that periodically throughout the day. Just stop what I'm doing and just reflect and think about other things than the task at hand. And so that to me, finding a way just to kind of slow it down is a good thing for me. All right. So again, thank you for those who have put into the chat. I appreciate that. So I have a video here, and it's students from District 833 that's going to speak about the importance of mental health. And so let's take a moment here and let's watch that and get perspectives from your peers of mental health and ways to address it.
Living life in middle and high school can feel really hard and overwhelming. Anxiety and depression are common. We need to talk about it and make it okay to say you're not okay. Students in South Washington County Schools came together to talk about mental health. Here is what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Anita Chetty.
I'm Allison Benjamin.
My name is Michelle.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Paofu Chao.
The biggest thing that stresses me out is my grades, but ultimately it's just balancing sports, school, clubs, church, family, friends, just all of it.
Probably one of the biggest stressors for me is fitting in and worrying about like family issues or worrying about like girl trauma or things like that.
There are a lot of things you can do to help somebody who is dealing with mental health issues.
I do frequently check on my friends, a lot of my friends, and I'll send little texts, hey, how are you? How's your mental health?
I just think if you are noticing your friend is really struggling, you can just let them know, like, hey, like if you ever need anything or want to talk, like I'm here for you.
Some people like speaking out about their feelings and some people don't. So I think that if they do, just be straightforward and ask them if you're that close with them. I think just letting them know that you are there if they want to talk.
You just got to like put it out there, like rip off Band-Aid. And like once that conversation has been started and that topic is out there, I think you'll find that it's so much more easier, you know?
Be a good friend. You just have to be there for someone. You have to be supportive along all their steps of the way. And maybe you could ask like, are you okay? Or do something with them to make them feel better. I knew if I received that message, that would just mean a lot to me. And it'd mean that I knew someone was caring.
No matter how much I think I relate to somebody, I don't know exactly what they're going through. So the best thing you can do is just sit there and listen to them, because that's sometimes all people need to do is just vent. And then if somebody asks for advice, then give them advice. But I think it's reassuring to just have somebody who can listen to what you're saying.
You can't minimize what they're going through, and you can't say that, oh, everything will get better, because you don't know what their mindset is. You don't know how they're approaching problems. So I think that just being there and being a source that if they need someone to rely on, you can be there for them. Honestly, mental health topics is very common within my friend group. We like to talk about how we can be these allies for our community.
No matter what anyone is going through, just to be there and just be kind, honestly, because you never know what people are going through on their day-to-day lives, and you don't know if like you just waving or like saying hello or just being kind will like make someone's day.
Telling your friend if you feel comfortable when you're not having a good day, because if there's somebody here who seems so perfect and like you don't think there's anything wrong with their life, you're not going to want to tell them, yeah, actually, I'm experiencing some depression right now.
Social media is a very like, I don't know, toxic hard thing with things like with mental health, because it's a good way to like distract yourself, but also it's not really like, the best way to like go in your bed and then just hide in your phone all day. Like the thing is that I've definitely done it a lot. Like I'm very guilty of that. But also it's like comparing yourself to other people online. It's just it's a hard thing for people like going through mental health.
So personally, I've struggled with like self-image issues, and being on social media and seeing like the perfect body or perfect whatever is detrimental and has impacted me negatively.
So it's just really key to keep in mind to not compare your things to what you see on social media, because it's just not realistic.
For me, it really helped to just take a break from social media. Like I think I did for about a month or 2 months, like for my junior year, and I just deactivated my Instagram account, and I didn't go on Snapchat that much because that actually does take a toll on at least on my mental health. But taking a break and deactivating your account definitely helps.
I know I struggle with anxiety, and a lot of times when I'm freaking out, my sisters would distract me, and they helped me like a lot. They'd be like, show me your favorite dance move. And it was silly, but it did really help. And they distracted me, and it made my anxiety attack like end a lot sooner.
Our teachers in District I33 care a lot more about us than we think. And they really do love each and every one of us. So if you ever feel alone, or if you ever feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, or no one's listening to you, you can always go to your teachers. And that's something I learned throughout high school, that I can always go to my teachers. And it really helps because you build that connection, and then you have someone at school who you trust, and it definitely helps make school better.
I know that I've dealt with mental health battles throughout my high school career, and just having the different like resources at the school that I don't think many people know about, like going to your counselor. And there's also, I know that there are like therapists that come to the school. If people would contact their counselors and let them know if maybe it's just mental health things that they're going through, and that, or like depression or anxiety, just letting your counselors know that, because they have the tools and resources to adjust like your teachers accordingly, and just help your experience be a lot better.
There are social workers and counselors in all of your buildings. What we do is we talk to students and families and teachers and staff about concerns that they're having. It could be minor, it could be major, and we just help you out and figure out a plan. It is normal to feel nervous before something big or a critical moment. Maybe you notice that stress response that you hear about sometimes, like a fast heartbeat, shallow breath, maybe getting warm. It's also normal to feel sad and tired, or exhausted, or depleted after a loss. If you can feel these things and go and do most of your normal day, like eat your meals, sleep well, talk to your friends and family, go to school, do the things that you have to do and things that you enjoy, you are likely coping with your stress appropriately. When you can't or don't go or do most of your normal day, like I talked about, eating, sleeping, talking to friends or family, going to school, or if you're isolating yourself, maybe you're tearing up in class, lashing out at others, or if you just stop caring, like I don't care, and this lasts weeks or months, or it affects many areas of your life, that is when you might want to think about talking to someone about your feelings, thoughts, stress, anxiety, sadness, or anything else that you're concerned about.
Mental health struggles can just be so incredibly hard in a way that maybe others can't understand. And so, I don't know, just take it slowly and make your way through it. And know that like any progress is progress. Like if you need to go second by second, then that's what you do. Say if your goal for the day is to just get out of bed and like eat something and take a shower, then that's completely valid. Just like do what you need to do.
Like I've gone through these same things, and someone who is going through mental health struggles, I just want to talk to them. I want to tell them what I've gone through personally and tell them that they're not alone.
Living life in middle and high school can feel really hard and overwhelming.
Okay, we are getting near the end of our advisory, and so I would like to pretty much just stop that lesson there. But the important thing is to know that there is a wellness center here at Park Eye that many of you might know and walked by, and there's a way to connect with those individuals. And I have put a link to that in our support resource folder on the advisory site that you can take a look at. And I think for the sake of time here, if you quickly put into the chat, things that you are grateful for in life. And to me, it's just some of those little simple things, and just being around family members is important here. So again, I apologize. I put the advisory lesson pretty much close up to your hour one. And so I appreciate those who have popped on and put into the chat, but feel free to exit and go to your first hour class if you need to.